Breaker, breaker. Anybody have their ears on? Linehaul Lonnie here. Okay, here we go with a trucking story from growing up in a trucking company. I was in high school, and after high school, I used to go to work part-time on the dock. So we would load trailers, and then when I got to work, my dad would give me a list of trailers and say, Lonnie, I need these put in this door, that door, that door, that door, that door, so they can be loaded to their destination that night. So as things happened during the night, about 9 o'clock, we had finished loading all the LTL freight, which is less than truckload freight, into these trailers. And we were waiting for the Edmonton freight to come down so we could offload the Edmonton freight into the destination trailers. The driver arrived around 9 p.m. and there was a bunch of us guys waiting for him. So he's trying to back the trailer into the trailer dock, and he's taken 3-4 tries, and he was not having much luck. And I kind of called out at him, says, "You going to put them trailers in here sometime today?" He looked out at me, he says, "Listen here, you young little punk." He was about 40 years old. I was 17. "If you think you can do any better, have at her." I said, "Okay." So he jumps out of his truck, and I hop off the dock and climb up into his truck. And I pulled it out, realigned, concentrated like I'd never concentrated on anything in the whole world. And I did everything proper, and the trucking gods were smiling on me, and I put it in first shot, made it look really good, real slick. So I hopped out of the truck and was walking back up on the dock, and I looked at the crowd of guys watching, and my dad was standing behind them all just beaming. He was so big smile on his face. That felt, the guys told that driver, he says, "You picked the wrong guy to say that to. He comes from high school and puts all the trailers in the doors for his dad." Anyhow, that felt so good to make my dad so proud of me for that day. That was awesome. Now, carrying on, the tip of the day, the driver tip of for today is when you're driving down the highway and you're on a 4-lane divided highway or whatever, I like to leave what I call an escape route. So should something happen and you got to veer right or left, you have room to go if you have no one beside you. But if you're stuck with someone driving right beside you, or another tractor trailer beside you, or vice versa, if you're in your car and a tractor trailer's beside you, you're better off to either speed up, get ahead of him so you can get your escape area again, or back off and let him go. So that way you have an escape route. Should there be an incident happen where you have to go right or left or something in your lane, you have room to avoid it. If you have someone beside you or he's beside you, he could have to make an emergency move, and then you're in his way and he could end up taking you out as well. So you're better off to always try and keep yourself an escape route. And hopefully that'll help you in the future and motor safe. Now, for the joke for today, there were 3 guys stranded on a desolate island. And they'd been there quite a while. They're wandering around, and one day they find this bottle that had washed up on the beach. So they proceeded to clean it, and they're wiping it off and standing around there. All of a sudden, this genie pops out. He says, "Hey," he says, "there's 3 of you guys. Okay, you each can have a wish." So the first guy says, "Okay." He says, "My family owns a deep dish pizza place in Chicago. I wish I was sitting in the back booth right now having a great big piece of pizza." Poof, he was gone. So then the second guy, he says, "I'm a poet." And he says, "I live in San Francisco, and I loved writing poetry sitting on the dock of the bay in San Francisco." He says, "I wish I was back there doing that." Poof, he was gone. All of a sudden, the guy that was a trucker, he's wandering around and looking around and kicking rocks. And kind of a few minutes later, he's looking down, shuffling along, and he says, "You know what?" He said, "I really miss my friends. I wish they were back here with me." Well, hope you guys enjoyed that. All right, songs that I recommend are 6 Days on the Road by Dave Dudley. And then another song called I've Been Everywhere by Hank Snow. And then the third song that I'll recommend is called Roll On Big Mama by Joe Stampley. All right, give these a listen, and you all have a great day, and we will talk at you later. We gone 10-7. We gone. Bye-bye.